hear that.
Made up movies, made up movies.
Yeah,
Oh yeah. Made up movies, made up movies. Yeah, 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 yeah. Made up movies. Movies in your face now. Come and get an earful. Made up movies, made up movies.
Hello and welcome to Made Up Movies. I am your host, Mike Kohler, and with me as always is the Mercy to my Farah, Matt Shore.
Wow,
there he
the
goes.
pharmacy is back in action.
The pharmacy, Overwatch
And we're
2.
gonna put up our big Bill Cosby portrait in the office and really let those ladies who work for us know what's up. Right?
Blizzard is not a good company, but
Not a good
I do like
company,
Overwatch.
But now they're owned by Microsoft. So
Oh, yeah, well, good. That's a good
good.
company. That's a much better, more
Bobby
respected
Kotick,
company.
Not stepping down. Not stepping down for nothing.
All big companies are great.
So
welcome
yeah,
to,
this is not a good time for women in America, and here you are throwing that in our faces, our collective faces.
Mercy and Farah are heroes, and they fight for women and the whole Overwatch team, which includes a monkey.
You know, what I've always said is that the world could always use more heroes.
Who have
Do
you
you
said that to?
concur? I mean, I say that every time I turn on the game Overwatch. That's what we're referencing right now. And of course, if you don't know what we're talking about Farah and Mercy, who are characters in Overwatch in a game developed by Blizzard, the World of Warcraft company that was under fire. Activision Blizzard for literally their executives or some of their like core team members had a portrait of Bill Cosby that they put up in their office. This is not a joke.
Not a good bit. I mean,
not a good bit. I mean, it's a great bit. Another classic short bit, but
not something you should do at work.
not something you should. I'm saying making fun of them is a good bit. What they did was create a culture of like repression and sexism that destroyed women's lives. And
also overworked. They overworked all of their employees, not just
is
women.
what it's called.
No. Overworked all of their employees because they don't care. They just want the money.
Well, that's
money.
okay because crunch is an industry standard in video game companies. So it's okay if it gets me that Cuphead DLC that I need. Yeah, exactly. It's more important than doctors. It makes people happy instead of giving them like bad news and stuff like that. We'll get into doctors and that whole scam later in this episode. But we should. Sorry, I interrupted.
Can you get in? Can you get into Overwatch 2 beta? Because they make me want to pay. They have to say, "Here's $40, and you can play the beta."
Oh yeah,
and
yeah,
I don't care enough to do
I thought
that.
I'm on the list for that.
I'm on the
that's
list.
real like outside of it's not even inside baseball. It's just what's going on in my life. Yeah, I saw because it was weird because they were like, if you don't know Overwatch 2, this is not a video game podcast, by the way. This is Made Up Movies.
It is now, baby.
I interrupted Kolar while he was doing his intro.
I was trying to do the intro, but now it's too late. Now we're a video game podcast.
So I wish. I mean, no, actually, I don't. The last one really went pineapple shaped, pineapple size. How's that expression?
I don't know. I've never heard that saying in my life.
It really went hourglass shaped on me. That podcast went 32.
So it stayed the same?
36, 24, 36 real fast, if you know what I mean.
You're making references that don't exist.
This is an expression that I learned from Bobby Kotick, so I'm pretty sure it makes sense. Those are the exact proportions of Mercy and Farah. So,
that's weird. It's weird that they would specify.
Well, you got to ask a lot of cosplayers because they need to know that stuff for research.
I guess that's true.
But this is Made Up Movies. This is a podcast, a comedy podcast, ostensibly, where we take suggestions from listeners, and we take those and we look at them and we're like, it's pretty good. And then basically they send us in fake movies that don't exist in our reality, and we review them like they do, using the power of our magic idea goggles, our transdimensional goggles. So, that's basically all that. We're talking about Overwatch. Kolar and I played a lot of Overwatch back in the day. Overwatch 2 is coming out. Amidst all this controversy, Blizzard is trying to, make it, it's a big upswing for them, right? I guess. They're trying to...
I guess. I mean, they really exist anymore. They're Microsoft now.
Yeah, I guess Activision Blizzard, amidst all this controversy, was bought out by Microsoft in their arms race with Sony to snap up as many studios as they could so they can win this Xbox PlayStation war that's, piping hot.
Are you sure we're not a video game podcast? Because maybe we are.
This is all on the top of my tongue because I think about this stuff a lot more than I probably should for someone who doesn't work in the industry. But yeah, I do find it funny and strange that you brought up Farrah and Mercy, two of their prominent female characters, and I do find it funny how Blizzard sort of projects that the kind of thing, and I say this as a very liberal person politically, they project that really shallow feel-good liberalism, and then behind the scenes they're just as scummy. It's like, look at our diverse crew of heroes from around the world who can do anything, and you can do anything. And also,
it's like that meme of those jets dropping bombs, but then they have like pride flag on them on the other one. It's like, oh look, it's better. This is better.
Yeah, exactly. As long as you're giving, like, if you're paying lip service to a cause while you do, it's like, it's something that pisses me off about just modern culture in general, where it's like, if you are being a passive aggressive douchebag, but if you're not actively being, like, yelling or being angry, people are like, well, at least they were nice about it. Like,
He's nice about it. He's nice about genocide. Who cares?
You could be saying, like, the worst shit or just being so condescending or snide or cruel, but as long as it's behind, like, a veneer of fake niceness to like, protect everyone's immediate fragility, because, like, everyone has something where it's like, someone raised their voice at me, this is gonna become a problem. Like, it's like, I don't know. It's a bad
just
time.
Gaslighting with more steps, essentially.
Exactly. And it's like, I get frustrated by that because that makes me angry. But if I get angry, I'm the asshole about that.
Yeah,
right?
You shouldn't get angry. Don't get angry.
Yeah, it's like a chess game with, like, the world's
Does Winston get
angry?
Oh, actually, I guess his special is getting angry. Winston does get angry, and then he hulks out.
And he eats peanut butter too.
He's both. He's the best of both worlds.
I don't know if you want to talk about this, but it is a bad
bipolar
time for women right now. Supreme Court just overturned Roe v. Wade. It's like I've listened to, like, every podcast this week about it politically, because someone just told me, I don't know what you think about this, but someone's like, we should support Susan Collins' bill because it's the only one that might have bipartisan support to codify Roe. And I'm just like, the last thing I fucking want to do right now is support Susan Collins.
Yeah, the last thing I want to do is listen to anything Susan Collins has to say.
I can't believe the conservative justices lied to me. They seem so sincere.
Why would they do that?
It's like, wow,
Who could have seen this coming?
I know. Fool me 25 times, shame on you. It's like such a fucking...
That's what happens when 90-year-olds run the country. They just, it's just terrible.
It's frustrating. It's frustrating. But anyway, I'm sorry we got so off track, but this is where my head is at.
It's okay. I have good news to make up for your bad news. So you know how a lot of the money that we make here on the show, you invest in OnlyFans.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah.
Because
we don't
am a
necessarily
feminist. I want to push back on this. I know you might think I'm sexist because, and I'm one of these shallow fake people like Blizzard and Overwatch. But no, because what I'm doing, when I pay, $20 to see a topless pic on OnlyFans, I'm investing in small business.
Sure, I understand that. But what I'm saying is, like, we don't really have the same taste in women, and you're using a lot more money than we actually have. What?
Could you
a lot of the OnlyFans is just like Kingdom
Hearts is not here right now. Please
it's
describe
like Kingdom Hearts
detail
cosplay is like a lot of the stuff you look at, and that's not
Kingdom
what I mean.
Hearts cosplay?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, yeah, that's true. And specifically, the ladies, I mean, initially I went in because I've always, since I was a kid, since I was prepubescent, loved Princess Jasmine. This is real, right? But then I found women do a pretty convincing Goofy, and I don't really think of him as a sexual character.
But
now. I mean,
I'm just saying, I'm not into Goofy doing that Goofy stuff that he does.
I don't think of the term or the character Goofy as sexual adjacent until now. And I think where are my goofballs at,
I'm just saying that's not what I'm into. So like, you're buying OnlyFans only for your pleasure.
I'm just saying, after you look at some Kingdom Hearts cosplay for a while and you don't have any release, you're gonna end up with a set of goofballs. You know.
Well, that's the funniest thing you've ever said.
I can't even sleep. I'm tossing and turning because I got these goofballs.
Because I got these damn goofballs.
It's like you go over to someone's house and you have a good time, and maybe it's a first date and you're not going all the way yet. You're not going to go all the way to the Magic Kingdom, are you? But, you know, maybe you're checking out, you just want to watch Cinderella on Disney Plus together.
Yeah.
And then you decide you're going to cuddle, and you can't even sleep because you just got such goofballs.
Because your balls are all goofed up. This was not what I was going to talk about. So all the money you wasted was the point I was trying to make.
Okay, thanks. But sure, go ahead.
I was not because you're not goofed up anymore, so that's good. I was saying that I took it upon myself to invest the rest of our money in the Southern Center advertising management sector, which will make podcasts super more popular, is what they say, through jargon and internet. And basically, they're just going to make us money by doing nothing. So,
wait, we don't have to do anything, or they're going to do nothing?
They're going to do all of it.
Okay.
And according to their website, so all we have to do is we donate I donate $1,000, you donate $1,000.
Okay.
And then through their system of protraction, and it's all on the website, but they'll make us money, and we don't have to do anything, and it's great. So you're welcome, and we're gonna get more listeners, we're gonna get more followers, we're gonna get more money.
Well, see, the thing is, you're kind of doing one of those like step A, collect underpants, step C, profit things without, but like
no. It's very legit. It's the Southern Center Management. The Southern Center Advertising Management sector, and Joe Rogan uses them.
Southern Center Advertising man. That spells scam.
No,
it spells scam.
I mean, that does not. Okay, so if you go to their website, scams.com.
Yep, that's scams. That's scams, dude.
No, that's an abbreviation. It's abbreviation for the Southern Center Management.
First of all, that's an acronym, not an abbreviation. And second of
all, I'm just telling you what is what.
How and you're am I the one who gets off to goofy porn, and you're acting so dumb right now?
I'm not acting dumb.
You can't
Look at their
be
website.
The dumb one. You're upending our dynamic. How are you blowing all of our money on this?
I'm not being dumb. I'm trying to invest in our future, and our future needs $1,000 fund, which I donated. I signed your name, which I know, but I know you probably are mad about that, but I signed your name.
I'm not mad about that. I'm mad that you didn't pick up on something where you had to type in the web address scams.
Again, it is an abbreviation. It's an abbreviation for
an acronym.
the... Okay, well, it's the same thing. And if you look at it, it says, if you go to the website, it says that says Joe Brogan. Joe Brogan.
Joe Brogan? Is that a
I thought it
famous
said Joe
podcaster?
Rogan used it. No, I don't know who Joe Brogan is. I thought I said Joe Rogan uses this. It must be good. But it says Joe Brogan, actually.
This is just full of, I'm looking at this now, this is just full of, it says Karen killed giraffe. Uses this for
that's not who I thought it said.
Favorite murder. This is just God, you read this when you were drunk, didn't you? You just skimmed through it.
I thought it said Joe Rogan, and I thought it said my favorite murder. I thought we were like, oh, this is great. And some guy called me and suggested it to me on the phone. So I thought, why would a guy call me and suggest it to me on the phone if it wasn't legit, right? And then this is.
This is why we need to start a Patreon. We need to fleece. This is the chain of fleecing. We need to fleece our listeners to listen to... They need to pay us to listen to their ideas that take extra work. Like, let me look at some of these ones that take too much work that I don't want to do. Graboid NATO. When a tornado touches down... This is from Two Idiots and a Dog, who, and I quote, says, when we do characters, it's a little bit detracting from the show. So I hope they're happy now, because this is what happens when we don't do characters. We're down $2,000, and now we have to fleece them.
Also, I also said they could garnish our checks till we make our money back, which I don't.
They're going to be real disappointed when they see those checks, quote unquote.
Right. It only really affects me this time, but maybe there's oh, here we go. If we send $2,000, we can avoid the contract. So I'll just go ahead and void the contract with them.
Okay.
$2,000.
Wait, you're paying them more? So we're going to be
just avoid the contract. They'll send it back once the contract's voided. They'll send us our original money and this new $2,000 back to us once the contract is voided.
Wait, I've solved it. I've solved it.
What?
The contracts are already void. You signed my name.
Oh, so we're okay.
We're okay. Because
I'm going to jail for fraud. You're okay.
No, because you can't defraud. What are they going to say?
What's who going to say?
Scams? Yeah, what's scams going to say in a court of law? That's what I'm saying. They're not going to go up in front of a judge and say, "We here at Scams, we're trying to do honest work."
That's true.
I think we're
just
fine.
in case, I'm going to send the $2,000 to them to void it.
Let's hold off on the money. Let's
cool.
roll the bingo bongo thing and let's get to a movie already. I feel like we've gone way off topic this time. All right.
No, we're fine. We're fine. And we can buy all the bingo bongo spinners we want in the future because of all this money we're going to make from scams.
But oh my God, I don't. You're off.
It is easier to say scams than the Southern.
You're no longer the CFO of us because I don't think you get how finances work anymore.
Can I still be the CEO? I like the way CEO sounds.
Yeah, sure. Whatever. You're in charge of the sinking ship. You're the director of the Titanic right now.
Sweet. I'm going down with the ship, baby. That guy's a hero.
Okay. I guess that's true. I don't want to argue with them in case the survivors of the Titanic are listening. Or I don't know. I feel like they'd be probably pretty angry at him.
Well, what aren't they angry about? You know?
Swerve!
Just miss it. It's sitting right there. It's huge. It's an iceberg.
That's you sailing into scams with our checks.
I'm not. First of all, it's the Southern Center Advertising Management Sector.
All right, enough.
Okay, all right. Let's do a movie. Let's do a movie, and we'll talk about this.
Let's roll the bingo bongo spinner and see what it comes up with. Okay, I'm rolling it, and let's see what we got here. Okay. Let's see. We have number 86, and that means, hey, check this out. Our good friend Smash Trivia finally got one in. It's his movie, The Ice Bucket Challenge.
Speaking of scams, am I right?
So topical. Yeah, wait, what?
Yeah. What? No, go ahead. Sorry.
Okay, we'll get into it, I guess. Got to watch this one. It's a thriller set 8 years after the famous Ice Bucket Challenge started. People start dying from freezing around the world. And the world realizes that everyone who dies did the challenge exactly 8 years ago. Our main character finds there's only 7 days until she hits the 8 years. Okay.
Jeez. It's a real ring sitch. All right, well let's watch this.
Okay, so if you're just joining us for the first time, we since this movie doesn't exist in our dimension, we have to look into the other dimension to watch it. So we're gonna put on our transdimensional goggles. I'm putting mine on. Got to clear out some of the death stick dust from a couple times ago. Just a little bit, trace amount, still dusting up in there that Kolar hasn't managed to snort out yet.
I did not know that, and I will snort it after you are done.
Okay.
So.
No, thank you. And I'm just going to turn it on now. We're going to watch the movie and flick.
Okay. Wow.
Okay. This is going some places I didn't expect. All right.
I have a brain freeze. That's fun. It's like I drink a Slurpee really fast.
I don't know if that's one of those 4DX experiences. All right. Taking it off. All right. So we just watched this movie. For a movie about a charity, like a charity, I don't even know it's like a charity stunt, I guess.
No, it was a charity stunt for ALS, which is Lou Gehrig's disease. Also an aka Lou Gehrig's disease.
Okay, I felt like I learned nothing about the charity.
You should just know the Ice Bucket Challenge. It's like doing a movie about Gangnam Style. You should just know about it.
So can I ask you, for for you, are these like really topical references?
Yeah, Gangnam Style, the very recent popular
that's
YouTube video.
So the work of Psy, would you say that's a recent album purchase?
I did
yours?
not even know that was his name. I'm saying the Ice Bucket Challenge is as recent as Gangnam Style, so yeah, it's fine.
No, but I'm saying I did not expect this film. I expected there to be more about ALS and, you know, raising awareness and less just like hardcore violence, Final Destination style. Because that's what it felt
it's
like.
cool because they stole that first scene from The Ring, basically, but instead of this a girl in the freezer, it's Bill Gates in the freezer, which I thought was cool.
Yeah,
well, it's not. He's in the closet and he's frozen and with a horrible face. And
that was weird. It looked like it was really Bill Gates. Is Bill Gates an actor in the other dimension?
maybe he does more. Maybe he's like a Stephen Hawking character in the other dimension. I don't know.
Oh, I see what you're saying. So at some point he's just like, hey. Yeah, maybe he lost.
He's a fun billionaire in the other dimension, not one in this dimension where he's trying to kill us with 5Gs.
Where he's trying to buy Activision all the time.
Trying to buy an evil company with his evil company.
I've got to turn. Okay, there's a movie for us. Fun-loving actor / billionaire Bill Gates has to take evil CEO Bobby Kotick under his wing and teach him how to be a chillionaire. Chillionaire, that's what it's called.
I'd watch that.
And
it sounds like a worse Devil's Advocate.
Yeah, see, that's the stuff we should be doing on Patreon to really fleece these guys.
Our own ideas?
Yeah, I mean, I don't see why not. They don't have to know. We'll just say it's by, I don't know,
Bill Gates.
Chalupa Supreme podcast, and people will be like,
are you eating Taco Bell currently?
I mean, this week, yeah. If it's this week, yeah. I have been eating a copious amount of Taco Bell.
Did you get the toasted chalupa? Sorry, this is very off topic.
Holy shit, I love that thing. I love
when I'm curious.
Okay, can I sidebar about Taco Bell?
Yeah, of course. That's what I was hinting at, yeah.
Because, first of all, this has nothing to do with this movie, but they brought back the Mexican pizza for a day and ran out of it, again? And it's never come back. At least in my local, I don't know if there's that ship is bottlenecked with all the Mexican pizzas in the Suez Canal again or whatever.
That's true because the one next to me, which is also the worst Taco Bell in America. They had Mexican pizza for one day, and then it was gone.
I will see whatever your Chicago Taco Bell situation is and raise you the Taco Bell in Koreatown, LA as like
that's fair.
I
don't.
It felt like if real life was a Western and there was like if Taco Bell was a Westworld saloon where anything goes, like in the context of Westworld where everyone works there as robots and could be shot or fucked at any time. That's what the Koreatown Taco Bell is like in Los Angeles. Don't go there. Go to the West Hollywood. I feel like I've said this before.
Here's my question though. Like this Taco Bell that near me is so bad, I don't even go to it. I haven't been to this Taco Bell till they brought the Mexican pizza back. So that's been years. Like, did you still go to the one in Koreatown? Because if you did, then it's not as bad.
No, I mean, I would go there when I was
desperate.
Brave. Yeah. That's how I was. Because I would be legit scared to go to that one.
That's fair. Okay. Yeah. This one isn't scary. It's just terrible.
Yeah. I mean, there's different degrees of like bad fast food places. I feel like Bill Oakley needs to pop in right now and be like, oh, I have the definitive.
Well, the thing is, there's so many good Taco Bells in Chicago that this one makes me angry that it's near me is part of it too. Because like every other Taco Bell I go to is great here. So
I've gotten to the point where it's like if I'm craving fast food, I just go to the good one. It's not about convenience for me. After a certain point, I'm just like, I can't trust this one McDonald's or this one Panda Express when I've had too many bad. Like, it's just like crossing stuff. I just got to get to the point where it's like, fool me once, shame on you. I got Panda Express.
Fool me 5 or more times.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I went to Panda Express, I think 2 months ago, and it was the last time I went to this Panda Express because like everything was fine except my broccoli beef tasted exactly like someone went into a bowling alley arcade, grabbed an ashtray, and just poured it directly in the bag. While
I don't like that.
I can still taste it. I can still taste the cigarette ash.
The Taco Bell near me, their chips tasted weird. They tasted like They tasted like they've been sitting in oil for like since they were born, and I couldn't eat them. So it was. I can't imagine. I don't know how chips went bad. That's what was strange to me.
They redid the Taco Bell near me, so now it's like very chic and has like a new screen and stuff. But they redid everything. They finally fixed whatever the problem with the freezer was, where like the tortillas are no longer freezer burned. But the parking lot has what I can only describe as like a seizure risk strobe light street light. And I've never seen a street light flash. Like, it doesn't like flicker in a horror movie, Silent Hill kind of way. It flashes 5 times a second. Like, like a rapid fire, like, it when it's dark out.
Is it attracting you to Taco Bell like a fly to a moth to a flame?
No, it's so fast. I literally, when I pull into the drive-through, I like actively look away out of fear that it's going to trigger some sort of like late unborn
latent.
Yeah, a latent
epilepsy
within me that I don't know, because it's so. It's like it's deafeningly bright and just shockingly like rapid, and it's just it's fun. So funny that they like put in all the money they need, and at some point during this construction they fucked that up, and they're like, we can't put any more into this. It's just gonna be like that, and it's also on during the day too. Like, it's never off.
That's silly. That's just a waste.
It's never off. So that's the movie. So thanks for. Oh wait, no, we didn't get to it yet.
Oh wait, no, the Ice Bucket Challenge. All right, let's get to the brass tacks of this movie.
Yeah, like you were saying, the opening scene has Bill Gates in it, or it's either that Nathan For You Bill Gates or a very convincing real Bill Gates.
Right. But I mean, it's literally the same shot from the original Ring, which I thought, I appreciate because I love.
Can you describe the Ring shot for me? Because I haven't watched the Ring since I was literally.
Well, as I recall, she is like she's in there's a girl in the kitchen who's alive, and then she goes into the closet and her friend is there and she screams, and you're like, why is she screaming? And then they show her face and it's just twisted in horror, and it's it's very scary. It's a very good jump scare, and it also like it sets the tone of the movie pretty well.
That is basically what happens here.
Yeah.
But what I don't understand about this movie is that people keep freezing in situations where they aren't, like in some situations they are in cold places, but in others they've just like become a block of ice.
Well, to me, I think it's like, it's like, it's that thing where it's like the happening was about bees or like the wind killing people, but instead they committed suicide. So this is just
wait. What do you think the happening was about?
About. I don't know what it was about. It was bad.
No. I want to hear what you think.
Bees. It was about bees and wind. That's what killed people. The bees died, and then the wind killed people. But I'm saying, I think this did a similar thing.
The happening, like I have seen the happening, and I hope. Have you seen the happening, or are you just going based on the...
It's been years. This is what I remember. The bees died, and then the planet is killing humans by making them kill themselves.
Right.
But I'm saying this did a similar thing where it's like...
What is
where it's like, oh, let's put them in silly situations like...
Besides bees and wind, what is the thing that, is all over the planet?
Oh, trees. Trees kill them. It's pollen or something.
That's right.
Yeah.
Okay, I just wanted to get there.
Yeah. But it was such a stupid movie at it. But I'm saying, like, in this movie... Like, they have the pilot who freezes. It's like, that's a silly place for the pilot to freeze. But, it's like, it makes for a good sequence because the pilot's frozen now. That's fine.
Wait, in the plane?
Yeah, where you have the pilot freezing the plane. It's like, what are you supposed to do?
That's like one of the first sequences where our heroine, what's the name of our woman in this?
Julia,
Charlotte?
I believe.
Julia?
Yeah.
Her friend is named Charlotte, correct? Who
yes,
eventually, I believe, bites it, but she bites it.
Well, because I think
tangentially.
Charlotte originally challenged Julia to the Ice Bucket Challenge.
Right. So
via
her
the internet.
timer is a little bit earlier
Yes.
and she's freaking out. But it's a weird thing because she's one of the few deaths, or I guess not the few, but she's one of the deaths that isn't part of the freezing thing. She just sort of final destinations herself out of a panic because she's so afraid of dying. So the way that the mechanic in this movie works is that it's like 7 days, like in the ring, right? Like it's trying for
8
a
years,
ring thing.
but also 7 days, or is it 8 years exactly? I couldn't figure
It's
that
8
out.
years exactly from when you did the Ice Bucket Challenge, but our main
But
character
she knew
has
she had 7
one-
days,
yeah,
based
exactly.
on her YouTube history or something, right?
You said it's Julia, right? And her friend
Yeah,
is Charlotte. So Julia has 7 days to live, right? And Charlotte has, like, I guess in this movie's timeline, like 5 days to live because she did it like 2 days earlier than her friend or whatever. And if you don't know what the Ice Bucket Challenge is at all, it was basically a social media challenge where people poured water, ice cold water, all over themselves from a bucket
full of ice.
Yeah, full of icy water, and they did this as they posted themselves
While listening to
doing it.
Gangnam Style.
Really? Is that true?
I don't know,
Probably.
maybe.
Probably.
It was a weird
Wha-
year, man. I don't know if that.
Wait. Okay, so this originally the Ice Bucket Challenge happened in 2014. So you have to remember that at this point everyone was just so hyped up on the inevitability of Hillary Clinton's momentous win that they
didn't think anything bad could happen.
nothing
to
bad
them.
can happen to us except
Yeah.
ALS. This is the worst
Yeah.
thing that could happen.
It
to
only
anyone.
kills. I just looked this up. It only kills 20,000 people a year, which is sad, but also. I don't know what I'm trying to
You'd
say.
like
I feel
it to
I'm
be
gonna get myself in
more?
trouble.
Is that what you're trying to say?
No, I'm saying there's other diseases that kill more people.
Well,
than
that's
20,000.
why it's an under the radar thing. That's why you need to raise awareness.
I'm just saying, like, if you name a disease after a baseball player, it just seems more popular, and that's what I'm saying.
I guess.
He
I don't
banged
know.
He banged Marilyn Monroe. He's cool. Of course, I feel bad that people have this disease.
I didn't know JFK had ALS. That's crazy.
Lou Gehrig.
Hey, I just thought of another one. Some
Okay.
like it cold. Ice.
That's pretty good.
cold.
That's pretty good, actually. Yeah.
That could be a tagline for this movie.
Some like it cold. I think that should be the tagline for this movie.
Yeah, definitely. If this movie deserves a poster, and it feels like this movie did feel like it wanted to be The Ring in terms of tone, but it also had the shooting style of Final Destination 2, where it's like a little bit, it's not Gore Verbinski smooth and beautiful and dark and polished. It's like,
For like obviously for a newer movie, it did feel like an early 2000s. Which I mean, I love that period of horror movies because they're so stupid. But
yeah, but it felt a little bit schlockier and more in your
Yes.
face and a little bit winkier too. But yeah, that is interesting that it's like, well, obviously it had to have come out after 2014, but it's still aping this style. It was almost a throwback in this way. But it's like, so was the intention of this movie to be like, oh, this is almost retro now, to reference this. Everyone's heard of this. We're catching the tail end of it, and we're bringing it back. Are they trying to Barneyville this horror right here?
I
feels like a
think what it is,
Barneyville.
it's like, well, they're trying to preemptively be like Stranger Things did the 80s, and then like, the 90s is already out, and it's like the 2000s again. So they gotta like, if they do it quick, they can be the first ones to do it.
Okay, yeah, like
That's what I think.
like two people, on the front of Splash Mountain, being like, we could be the first people ever to flash the cameras on the way down.
Yeah.
We
And
were
they're
gonna
like,
get
that is the
cold
best
and we're
thing
gonna
I've
get
ever
wet."
heard. Yeah. It's like there was a movie they made about COVID, like during COVID, called Host, which was pretty good, and that kind of reminds me of
Host.
I mean, it's just they literally made it on what is that stupid where you on what is that fucking thing? Google Share, not Google Share, where you're on video. What is that thing that
Zoom?
was very popular? Yeah, Zoom. They made it on Zoom. But it was pretty good.
You're not talking about the Judd Apatow movie he just did.
No. That is, I mean, I tried to watch that. Was hot garbage.
It was
there's it was on Shudder. It was called Host.
Oh, I was gonna suggest Shudder. It sounded so Shudder. It sounded like, we can't do VHS right now, so we gotta...
Right, you gotta put it on Shudder. But it was pretty good, so I don't know.
So basically, all right. So to set this up a little bit more about what's going on in this movie, you're sort of like, your main character is Julia, and you're sort of tracking her as she's trying to uncover the mystery of why this is happening, and people around her keep dying. But there's also the thing where it's like, we're also popping around the country to different celebrity cameos as each celebrity is dying. And like, they're all getting frozen, but like, again, some of them are in big Mr. Freeze blocks of ice inexplicably. And like
some just like turn blue. It doesn't really.
Yeah, some are contorted. Some are like literally shoved into freezers, like not big walk-ins.
Yeah, it's like, did they wait a minute? Were they just in the freezer, or I don't understand?
And there are some like shocking reveals, because the whole thing is like, there are some like, it's like, I don't know if it's a sci-fi or a supernatural element, but it's like something is connecting all of these buckets together. There's like this microbe, this bacteria that is like laying dormant, sort of like my epilepsy, and is like within them and is like causing this. But for whatever reason,
it's almost like there's bees in the ice, and once the bees are loose,
it's the trees, not the bees.
Oh, sorry, they rhyme, so I get them confused.
But yeah, there's a lot going on in this movie. There's a lot of big action sequences. There's the pilots, and she's on a flight basically because Julia finds out that her, like, I think a family friend of both them, Julie and Charlotte, they're like flying back home because this person just died. This is like how they get involved.
Well, people don't know what's happening at first because they're like...
Well, it's high profile when Bill Gates playing himself
dies. When Bill Gates dies. But before, they're like, what is the connection to all these people being frozen? Like, I mean, it doesn't make sense.
Right, because it's 8 years later. And then they think
nobody
it's
remembers
like...
the Ice Bucket Challenge.
So the idea is that it's like some weird disease is spreading. But it's like, I think what we're led to believe is that Julia is... I think there are people who are concurrently figuring it out, but like we're watching this movie as if Julia is the sleuth who's putting this stuff together.
Yeah.
Because her dad has ALS and is like, that's like part of the, like, her emotional connection to it in this movie. Even though he's not a huge component, because he apparently already passed at the time of this movie, but she does like flash back to them. Or like her relationship with her dad, or like a few times in the movie, as the movie is like trying to take some wild swings at heart, and it's like that's what drives her.
Her dad was a scientist, so she sort of followed in his footsteps of scientist.
Oh, because there is this big sequence at the lab, and there's this really fucking annoying character. I think his name is Jeremy, who is like this dude. He wears these glasses. He's got this, like, he sort of looks like the Riddler on Gotham.
He's like so weaselly.
He's so weaselly. And he is like the dude at the lab who's like, yeah, right, the Ice Bucket Challenge. Yeah, right. But he's also the one... As he
pushes up his glasses, little snarky piece of shit. God, I hate him.
I hate him so much. And he is this dude who is like, they spend so much, and they're in this room, in this laboratory, and it just looks like some Resident Evil bullshit where it's like everything is blue. Is this some like ice filter they're putting on? But like, I do want to go back and talk about the what you brought up earlier. I'm trying to think if there's anything like really crazy that's like an outlier in this movie that we haven't mentioned.
I mean, the ending, but I don't know if I should mention the ending yet.
Yeah, the ending is crazy because, like we said earlier, okay, so there's a sci-fi element of this movie, and it's almost like...
Well, there's a sci-fi, and also, like you said, there's a supernatural element as well, which is...
Well, that's what I'm saying, is like, is that all... Is this like... That's where it got like super Resident Evil-y to me. Is it's like, because it's okay. Let's just talk about it because
Okay, so at the end, what they have to do is, well, it doesn't work, but they dig up Lou Gehrig essentially to try to like, I guess he has some, they think he might have the cure because he was the first one, I guess.
Right. They think there's something in his blood that will lead them to the cure. But what they find is that he is patient zero of, like, it's insane that a movie that's supposed to raise awareness would take so many fucking liberties with what the disease is like, because it's so insulting to people who actually have it, and also it makes it so much scary. I mean, I guess it does raise awareness in an insanely perverse way. It just makes you so scared of getting, because they dig him up and he has like mutated to the point where these things, which look like giant fucking tardigrades, are like morphing out of his corpse, and his corpse comes back to life and starts tormenting them like a fucking Resident Evil tyrant. But it's not. It looks like it's a bloater in Last of Us. Like it's gonna explode.
He looks like a bloater with a baseball bat. It's insane.
Yeah, he was buried with a baseball bat. Yeah. It's almost like they're trying to make him Jason with a machete.
It is a twist that I did not see coming, and it was very.
And there are so many celebrities in this movie. That's the thing, is that it's like, well, I guess I should say like sort of celebrities. Like,
well, like you said, is it Bill Gates or is it knockoff Bill Gates? Is it Kevin Bacon or is it knockoff Kevin Bacon?
Okay, that was definitely Kevin Bacon.
I mean, it's definitely Kevin Bacon, but the other celebrities, because Kevin Bacon will do anything.
That was definitely Sugar Ray. I know 100% that was definitely Sugar Ray. He freezes
Sugar Ray Leonard
on stage.
Or the band Sugar Ray?
What? No, Mark McGrath.
Mark McGrath, yeah. I was going to say his name's not Sugar Ray.
His name is Sugar Ray, in my opinion. He freezes on stage during a concert. And they like play the entirety of Fly, which I was like, this is a long song to hear right now. And then he freezes at the end of it. It's very stupid. And just contorts and does some crazy acting. I mean, that was crazy. I haven't seen him in a film since Scooby-Doo, and he nailed both parts perfectly.
Are you saying Mark McGrath might be our generation's best actor?
I think in terms of like, it's like he's almost as good an actor as Bobby Kotick when he said he did not know. You keep saying
Bobby Kotick, and I don't know who that is.
He's the head of Activision. When he said that he did not know of any wrongdoing, I think they were both equal.
And then he sort of like twitched after he said that at the end.
Well, yeah, he was on a Twitch stream at that time.
No. He was like
right, but I mean esports, Overwatch League, it works either way.
This guy's twitching out. This guy's so twitchy. I can't trust him.
So yeah. There were a lot of weird cameos. I mean, like in like there's that one point when Carmen Electra is in it. And you're like, okay, she's really gonna die. You know for sure she's gonna be one. But it turns out that it's just Carmen Electra playing a waitress in this movie. Like she's just falling on hard times.
Carmen Electra never did the. I mean, she might have done the Ice Bucket Challenge, but in this movie, she's just a waitress.
Well, I do want to bring up. I watched a bunch of videos. I'm not sure if this is the Ice Bucket Challenge, but she just pours water all over herself.
I don't know.
I watched them. Over and over and over, and I've been
let me ask you a question. Was she dressed like Goofy in these videos?
Okay, all right. If this is a specific joke because you saw the bill for the cameo I paid for, where I asked her to pour water on herself wearing this Goofy hat that I found, yes, that did happen.
I did. That was.
We've all done it.
That was more money than I spent on scams. Way more. So
it's it was about the same amount. Total.
Is it a good cameo?
She is phoning it in the entire time. She's not a tremendous actress, and I don't know why.
She has to do so many cameos. So I think
a part of me was thinking of Denise Richards in Wild Things the entire time, and it was only when the check cleared that I was like, "Fuck, that I paid for the wrong."
Speaking of Wild Things, when I went to Second City Film School,
Oh wait, yes.
The
I remember you said this, and you're like,
The director of Wild
giving us
Things.
all boners in middle school, buddy.
John, what is his name? Fuck, John.
John Woo.
I don't know. Let me look it. I'm just gonna look it up. Sorry.
Kolar met the director of Wild Things.
He taught a class, and it was not a good class. And but like one of the things he taught was he was talking about lighting, and he said like just so. John, what the fuck is his name? God damn it.
John Waters.
Sorry. It's not John Waters. It is John. I got to remember his name. It's going to drive me crazy. John McNaughton. John McNaughton is an old white man, a very old white man,
In
who
Hollywood?
was very popular
Oh.
because he made Henry Portrait of a Serial Killer, and he became like this Hollywood's golden boy. But he, during his class in like this room with like 30 other people, he said, you know, Denise Richards, she had a little bit of cellulite on her inner thigh.
Oh
And
my
our lighting guy was so good, he was able to hide it. And that was like his big talking point. And like all my like girl classmates were like, okay, I'm never coming back to this class. He was just so excited about this stupid, like he just said it in such a
And
way that
this
was so offensive.
To be clear, this was like a couple years ago.
This was a couple years ago. He might be dead, but and then
No,
like
I'm
the
saying,
other class was
I'm
just
saying like this wasn't like, I mean, it sounds like something someone would have said in the 70s or in the 60s in Mad Men times, but this is a guy talking about a movie he did in the 90s, when if he had said that, it would have been scummy, but he said that
in the 90s.
during this current decade.
Oh my god, it was awesome.
And
I
also
said,
it's
well, he
like-
made Wild Things.
Who out there was like complaining about what Denise Richards looked like in Wild Things?
No one.
Like-
Yeah, that's why it was so fun. It was just like he like really wanted to tell this story, and then I don't think he told any other stories. Like I didn't go to
my
another class
God.
because he was like, the other class was like cutting together like a movie that he had already made. Like it was like teaching you how to like edit a movie that already existed. I'm like,
No,
this
that's
is a
not how I already made it. You idiot.
fucking waste of time. Why did I? They're like, wait a minute.
You know, we could be
What- how much
watching
money did I
movies
spend on
at
this class?
home.
What?
We could be watching movies at home. Like,
I could be watching Wild Things at home
we
and
could be
not
watching Kurosawa instead. You
Yeah,
see
it
that
was,
samurai right there? Because it's in black and white. You can't say he's fat.
Why would you say that, Kurosawa? I respected you as a filmmaker.
When you're a star, they let you hide their fat. That's
See
the
this
way
fat
it is.
piece of shit. Guy couldn't act to shit. Sorry,
See
you're so
this
rude.
Marlon Brando right here. He came in overweight to this thing. Okay, well that's actually interesting because it's, you know, it's
Anyway.
part of film is.
But it wasn't That was Denise Richards, not Carmen Electra. But anyway, Wild Things. Yeah, still a great movie.
But that's what I'm saying. Okay, Carmen Electra is in Ice Bucket Challenge, the movie, as a waitress, but she's kind of like the era of Sugar Ray Celebrity, where you're like, okay, she's playing herself and she's gonna die.
She's gonna
But
die.
she's just
Like
like
Piranha
a
3D,
waitress
right?
at the bar they're at, and she's like, "You want anything, hun?" And like chewing gum.
It's like, why is she doing that?
Why is she
in the
here?
movie? In a movie?
Is this just her? Is this her big Tara Reid comeback? I don't understand
know.
what's
I don't know.
happening in this movie.
No, she's just a waitress, and that's the end. That's the last time you see her. As
Yeah,
I
she's
recall.
only in that. Maybe she had a bigger scene that was cut out or something.
Yeah, maybe there was a whole arc with that waitress that was in the director's cut.
I guess. I mean, I think one of the things that made me super uncomfortable was that there's not a lot of. There's not a lot of like male characters in this movie. Almost
That
everyone
made you
who's
uncomfortable.
No, it made me uncomfortable that they tried to shoehorn in like a third act romance between Julia and the Weasley guy, because it was like, just because he's the only guy there, and like all the other dudes mostly died earlier in the movie that she knows. And so it was just like, you can't have it both ways, where this guy is both the scumbag and the like,
love interest.
Yeah.
It was also like, as far as I know, they hate each other. Like, I guess it's like a tense situation of getting chased by dead Lou Gehrig.
right,
like,
but it's like,
mutant Lou Gehrig.
you've written
Well,
this
like-
guy in such an unlikable way,
Right.
and you've written her in such a, I mean, in general, I thought this actress who played the lead, Julia, she did a good job. She's like, I mean, she doesn't have that much to do except like run and look concerned in all these scenes and like see a frozen corpse and freak out. But I do think, okay, so I want to talk about the pilot sequence that you mentioned earlier. So they're like flying there, and they're flying home because they hear that someone in this they hear something. It's like their family friend, right, who died, but it's not just one of them. It's like two members of the family died.
Yeah, died at the same time. And
in
the same way.
And they're like, how did they must be some sort of disease? And that's when they start piecing. It's like they're like watching old videos of them. Do you remember they did this ice bucket challenge thing? Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah, for ALS. I remember that. Yeah.
Right, for your dad. They said it was important to him. And it's like it stuck out to her, and that's what sort of puts her on the trail. And she's just sort of
well, they go down the rabbit hole of like other YouTube videos and connecting names to like obituaries and stuff.
Right. And at first, like, Charlotte's like, you're kind of crazy. That's kind of a wild leap.
Yeah, it sounds insane.
But as more people who did the Ice Bucket Challenge start dying throughout the movie, that's when it creates this like, basically this like frightening ticking clock. Right. With Charlotte, because Charlotte starts to freak out that
and people are like, well, let's just go to the equator, it's warm there. And it's like, well, that sort of makes sense, but it doesn't.
Yeah, that's the other thing that's really weird. That's what happens in that bar scene too, is she sees some guy, because they're like in their hometown for when they flew back, and they're like they see these people and they're all like wearing Hawaiian shirts and leis, and they're like, why are you dressed that way?
Baby.
You gotta think warm. It's the only way. It's part of this new movement we started. We're all gonna go to the equator. You can't freeze where it's warm.
Yeah.
And it's like that doesn't go anywhere. They don't go there later. Or maybe they do. Is that where they're going at the end of the movie in the boat? Oh, I mean, my God.
That's possible. I thought they were just running from Dead Lou Gehrig, but that could be why.
Okay. So I want to talk about, so they're on the plane. It seems like they start to hit turbulence, but the plane starts to nosedive. They're in like a 747, and they get to someone goes to the cabin, a flight attendant or something goes to the cabin, and the pilot's frozen, right? Yeah. And so they have to jump out of the plane.
Which was crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy. And everyone else is getting like thrown around the cabin. And for some reason, our heroes are like two of the few people who get parachutes. And so they have to jump out of the plane. And there's this crazy CGI sequence, like where it's not great CGI, where they're like clinging together and flying through the air and like get stuck in a tree. It was
it's that stupid thing where it's like, there's not enough parachutes for everybody. You're gonna have to share. It's like, okay.
It's like the plane is going down, so everyone's just like flying around and hitting things.
Yeah, and also they don't keep parachutes on 747.
Yeah, I don't understand how that even happened.
It's very stupid.
And it seems like there's only like two of them, and the stewardess is like, "Here, you've got to take these." And she's like, "Well, shouldn't you?" And it's like, no, it's my duty. She's like the Titanic, the captain.
Everybody had an excuse for why they didn't want to take the parachutes, and it was like, do all these people just kind of suicide? Like, what is do they want to die? What's
there's
happening?
Like this weird moment. I think, okay, this is my theory about what happened. Okay, so before the pilot freezes, there's like this passenger who's like the asshole passenger. Another one of the few dudes in the movie who's just like a huge asshole. And he's like this older guy who's like, he couldn't get in first class. Like, this is why I always fly first class normally because of people like you. And he's like mad that he can't get the meal he wants. And when
he was a real Billy Zane type, you might say.
Yeah, is that what Billy Zane is like? It's Titanic. I thought you meant in real life. Or just as a celebrity who would freeze in this movie. But like he after the stewardess gets in this altercation with this guy, our hero Julia sees her. She goes to the bathroom and sees the stewardess crying. And is upset, and Julia, our hero, like comforts the stewardess and is like, that guy was a real asshole. Don't worry about what he said. And I think that's why the stewardess gives the parachute because like of this like moment of kindness, and it's like,
it was
okay,
he was being a Karen. She was like, "This is it. This is what I'm going to stand for." This
right?
is
But
I'm gonna die on.
it's like that seems like a crazy reason to decide who lives and who dies,
Right.
in this moment. Well, you showed me a moment of kindness.
He's kind of a dick. I like it. I like how he dies.
Right, but it's not like she just let that guy die. Everyone else on the plane fucking goes down.
Right. Yeah. But so yeah, yeah, that's true. I guess it's a real Homelander situation. Yeah,
It really is. It really is.
No, we're leaving. Can't do anything.
Yeah, can't do anything. We can just save these two. No.
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 Everyone. That's such a good scene.
Yeah, that's amazing.
But no, so her and I guess the third act is her and her love interest running from Lou Gehrig on this boat.
You really think they're love interest? Okay, well, see, we
at this point they are
to the point where, okay, so.
But they're trying to find like this like jungle fruit, which they think will solve it, I guess.
Yeah, it's true. They're trying to find a jungle fruit which has like the power of healing warmth.
Yeah,
but you're skipping the part where Charlotte dies in the Final Destination point.
Oh yeah, that is a cool thing.
Because they go to the lab, right? Because they're like, my dad used to work at this lab. Maybe, he was trying to cure himself. Selfish. And he they get there and
selfish.
Oh, gotta research your own disease, huh?
Oh, okay, I see
Mr.
how it is.
Freeze.
Yeah.
It also works in this movie. Maybe this could get tied into our Joker movie, to be honest.
Well, it could. This could be a squeakle, let's say.
It could be a Nosferatu situation.
Yeah, it could be a Nosferatu.
So, anyway, they formally find out, I just want to say this, they formally find out at the lab that, okay, it's definitely the Ice Bucket Challenge. There's some sort of microbiotic creature inside this, I think it's the buckets or something.
I couldn't tell. I think it was the buckets. I guess whatever brand of buck. It was a little.
But it
was all so convoluted
that everyone who did this challenge all bought the same bucket.
Yeah, that was weird to me. But it's they definitely said, "Oh my god, it's in the buckets." And I was like, "Well,
it's in the buckets." Okay. There's these buckets were never meant to hold cold water.
That was so strange. So yeah, that's what I didn't under.
They go to stay at their hotel, and they're like, so everyone who this happened to did it, and we both did it, right? And so there's this ticking clock, and she's like, "Well, I did it 2 days before you." And she really feels like it's like her time is running out in the next day or something like that. And so they're like, we've got to find this cure. And Charlotte breaks back or tries to break back into the lab.
Yeah.
So she could start. She's like, I don't care if it'll work or not. I just want, something to cure me. She's like
she's desperate.
She's desperate, but she gets in there and but the security dogs just rip her apart.
Yeah, very Resident Evil-y.
Again, super Resident Evil. Same kind of dogs too. What are those dogs?
Also, she had a couple more days. She didn't need to.
She didn't have to run in, and they could have just waited till the next day.
Yeah, when it's open.
And they could have just stolen them then if she wanted them so badly. But she gets eaten by the things. And that's when they try to push the love story between because who comforts her but Mr. Weasel? Mr. Weasel.
I guess it's because of trauma they should be together. But that's not a good reason.
Yeah, well that's how they kind of bond, because they're both smoking cigarettes in the hotel room and drinking whiskey together, being like, we both did this Ice Bucket Challenge. I did it too. It was all the rage. You couldn't escape it. If you wanted to be part of the scene, you had to do the Ice Bucket Challenge.
You gotta be part of the scene, baby. And that's when they're looking through her dad's notes, and it's that's why they go find Lou Gehrig, and that's why they go find the fruit, because of his convoluted notes. It's they're all over the place.
Right. And so they go on this, I don't know where they are, but they go on a boating trip for some reason. They have a boat. Because because they're attached to like a maritime research center for some reason.
Yeah.
And so they boat to the island where Lou Gehrig is buried.
Lou Gehrig.
I'm sorry, that's the guy who works for Scams. I'm reading the website still.
Thank you. Get it right.
But Joe Brogan, Lou Gehrig, wait, which is the right one? Oh, no.
Amy Schlumer.
Larman Electra, and all of your favorite friends.
Your favorite celebrities.
And that guy from that band, Ray Sugar.
Ray Sugars? Are you saying Race Sugars?
Ray's Sugars. That's the name of the band.
It's a good band.
Yeah, hi, I'm Ray Sugar of Sugar Ray. That's his name, right?
He should change his name.
Cobby Botic, all of our favorite celebs. So basically, they dig up Lou Gehrig, and he's like a bloater, and he's got like worms coming out of him, and he chases them around. Pretty cool.
I mean, that was all practical, which was cool.
Yeah, it was very The Thing. It looked so real. I was right there with it as it was beamed into my eyeballs, and he's chasing them around. But then it's like, then it just becomes like full on like we need like an action sequence for this.
Yeah,
and so like they take the boat. Wait, was the fruit the reason those people were going to the equator, or was that just unrelated? They wanted to
no, because Lou Gehrig and the fruit are on the same island, and I think, but it's like...
Oh, I thought it was a tropical fruit. Okay, I misunderstood.
Yeah.
So they're on the same island because... that I don't know why they're on the same island, but they are on the same island. Wherever they go...
Well, and also like that weird thing where it's like... they talk about the rainforest a lot, like preserving the rainforest. Like they were all over the place.
Lou
with, like,
Gehrig is buried in the rainforest for this movie. I don't understand.
It doesn't make sense.
The logistics of this movie.
His tomb is
don't make
his tomb is huge, and I don't think that's actually.
Oh yeah, it's like a mausoleum that they have to go. Yeah. They have to light torches to go inside.
Yeah.
They're like,
there's no way that's what his real grave
Indiana
looks like.
Jones, like, oh, stick close to me. There's rats in here. And it's like
Lou Gehrig's tomb. Yeah. Oh, okay. I accept it.
Yeah, I mean, whatever. I mean, in the context of this movie, but like all the cemetery starts erupting with apparently frozen or infected corpses that are all these like creatures, and for some reason he has what he calls a science flamethrower that he's just using on them, like The Thing.
It's just a regular flamethrower, but he says it's a science.
It's for science. We needed to keep the dolphins at bay. So. Yeah, I mean, it's a pretty fucking crazy ending, and they don't really find...
What?
I mean, they don't really save the day, sort of. I mean, they find the fruit, right?
Well, they find the fruit, and they mix it, but it's a very rare fruit, but they mix it, and what's funny is they mix it in a bucket, and they have to chill it, and then...
Right.
This is so stupid. And he's like...
They have to pour it on themselves.
They have to pour it on themselves. And she says, let's go viral, baby. And then she pours it on herself.
Oh, right.
Yeah. But the issue is the fruit is only in that one part of the world, I think. So it's like there's not much other people can do. It's not like a banana.
So was Lou Gehrig buried in this area because it was where the fruit was? And
but then that's like presupposing, but that's presupposing that he knew the ice bucket challenge was gonna happen.
But is there some connection between ALS and?
I said presupposing like it's a real word.
What this presupposes is maybe he didn't. Wildcat. I'm gonna go.
What kind of
way is that for a person to behave? Royal Tenenbaums, baby. But yeah, I don't understand how I feel like in my heart that
her dad was a villain. That's what I think. I don't know.
Her dad harvested Lou Gehrig's body, replaced the real Lou Gehrig's body wherever his hometown or wherever he's buried at the Baseball Hall of Fame. And
I assume he's buried in the Baseball Hall of Fame. Yeah, how Elvis is buried in his backyard.
Yeah,
it's the same thing.
I assume he's buried inside of a baseball. that is still used.
The world's biggest baseball.
Wow! What an honor.
What's inside Lou Gehrig's dead body?
So I think they're trying to say there's some connection between ALS, and this microbiome or virus
that's
or
in
bacteria
the buckets.
that's in the buckets and the fruit, and
It's all connected. It's all connected.
They don't go into the science at all, but they just make it clear that the buckets are bad and the fruit is good. And the fruit
buckets bad, fruit good. It's true.
But they have to douse themselves with a huge... they basically make a juice bucket.
Yeah.
And they douse themselves in it.
Well, that's what her YouTube video says. It says juice bucket challenge. But, it's hard to go viral. She only has like 200
I don't know why they record it.
Yeah.
To teach people how to make the cure?
But you need this weird fruit that only exists on Lou Gehrig's Island?
Right. Like, so that's where... So I guess that's where they're boating off to in the end.
Yeah. I don't know.
So
I think no, because I think they're trying to take the fruit to the mainland or something, like to actually help instead of just making.
I thought they juice. I mean, how much? It's a rare. Like, how many fruits?
They use a ton of the fruit, but it's like there's still a couple left.
Oh,
like
okay.
it took like 20. They look like bigger kiwis.
When they're making it, they're like smashing it with their feet in buckets. Like I Love Lucy. It's so weird. This is such a weird movie.
Yeah. But pretty good.
Yeah. How many ice buckets would you rate it out of?
How many ice bucket challenges? Well, I don't like being cold, so 0. If I had to take the ice bucket challenge to watch this movie,
I think this is the worst movie I've ever seen.
It's not even bad. I just want to be cold.
No, it's terrible. I personally hold Smash Trivia responsible for this movie. He
shouldn't suggest terrible movies. It's his own fault.
I can't believe this. I think we need to raise awareness of Smash Trivia and his podcast by pouring...
If only there was a way to do that.
If only there was a way. Hey, you know what? I've got this bucket full of stuff that's been accumulating. Yes, the hot oil challenge. I used it to get rid of medieval peasants who were uprising, but you know what?
All right, well.
I think we should either drink this or pour it on ourselves or some such.
We could make, we could do a good fried chicken in it because fried chicken is delicious.
Or
mozzarella sticks. We can make mozzarella sticks. I'm just saying.
Oh, hell yeah, yeah. Screw what I was going to say. I want some mozza sticks. Yeah, okay. We're going to make some mozzarella sticks out of my flaming oil bucket here. Then I'm going to get on that
to raise awareness.
To raise awareness for how good they are. And it's a fuck Bobby Kotick challenge. We're saying fuck him, don't fuck him, but fuck that guy.
Please don't fuck Bobby Kotick.
Please don't fuck him.
Don't fuck.
But if you have an idea for a made-up movie that we could review on our show, go to @MadeUpMoviesPod on Twitter, submit a title and what the premise of that movie is, or send it to madeupmoviespod@gmail.com. That's it for us for this week, right? Anything else we have to say?
I believe that is all.
Okay. Stay aware, stay awake, stay away from, scary Taco Bells. That's all we have to say.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.